Welcome to week 7 of the VG Caster Cup. I'm Jake, the captain of the 5-move Volcaronas, and for this last match of the regular season, we are going up against Jamie Boyt and his team Boyt. Yes, that is his team name. Yes, that is his team logo. And yes, it is hilarious. We are both 4-2 going into this match, so the winner will make playoffs, and the loser will have to rely on tiebreakers. Last time I checked the standings, Jamie had the highest differential. The first tiebreaker is Pokemon knockout differential, and I believe he had the highest and one of the highest of all the players with 4 wins, and I was the lowest. And so I need this win a little bit more, I think, than Jamie does. There's a chance both of us make it in, regardless of winning, but I would much prefer to win this week to guarantee it and not have to hope that my Pokemon knockout count is a little bit better than a couple other players. This is also one of the matches that I was the most excited for and scared of at the same time. Jamie is a fantastic player. He has won multiple regionals, but also uses teams that you could realistically see in draft leagues as well. He's very, very good at finding very creative picks and tailoring them to whatever his team needs at a given event. And when you can tailor something even further down to I will only face these 12 Pokemon, I expect some really cool moves and items and whatever else strategies from Jamie here. His draft is also pretty scary. There's a lot of really good combos here. I'll get into it a little bit when I start talking about my team, but it's cool that this is the last match. I think saving what I think will be the hardest one for last. I think this and Sierra's teams were the two I was the most scared of in my bracket. We saw how this match against Sierra went, so hopefully it goes a little bit better. Let's jump into my team here, though. Looking at Jamie's team, again, my Avalugg in Trick Room looks very, very well positioned. And so naturally, I'm going to have the Slowking as well. For the Terra typing and items, looking at Jamie's team, again, there's two different electric types, the Oricorio and the Raichu. Oricorio, especially with the Frostmoth, has that potential Dancer combo with the Quiver Dance that the Oricorio can also then take advantage of itself. And so being a little bit afraid of those electric types, also of a possible combo of Bulldoze, Arcanine, Weakness Policy, Thunder Punch, Metagross, I went with the Wakanberry. With Terrestrialization in the Scarlet and Violet era, we don't see these resist berries too often anymore, because oftentimes you can just Terra away from that weakness, or if you do Terrestrialize, your the type you Terra into doesn't share that same weakness as the original form, so a resist berry will only be effective before Terrestrializing. But with Dugtrio, I figured Terra Flying would be very good. It gives me another thing to Earthquake next to. It's decently neutral into the rest of Jamie's team if you include the Wakanberry there. So I'm with Terra Flying Wakan. If I do Terrestrialize, I still get to use the Wakanberry, which is very nice. It gives me a better shot at setting up Trick Room into multiple of Jamie's Pokemon here. And I also didn't necessarily feel the need for some other items, so the defensive Wakanberry I think was a cool pick here. Of course, I'm the Terra Flying, like you see. I am Oblivious this time around. I did fear Taunt from something like Crocodile or Gengar. I think Raichu gets it as well. So I just wanted to make sure that if Slowking is on the field and can be surviving attacks, it will be able to set that Trick Room up. Scald here was to hit the Arcanine and Crocodile, and then I definitely wanted a Psychic-type move for the Gengar, for the Quaquaval, but looking at Jamie's team, there's the 2 possible Quiver Dance Pokemon with Frostmoth and the Ribombee, and then of course Oricorio, I think learns Quiver Dance itself, but can copy the Quiver Dance with Dancer, and Goodra is known for having very high special defense, not as great defense, so Psyshock was a pretty easy choice there. Just gives Slowking a better way to hit those Quiver Dance Pokemon, the Goodra, while still Okoing Gengar. I considered Flamethrower in that 3rd attack slot as a way to hit the Metagross, have super effective damage into Ribombee and Torterra, but I figured Helping Hand might be a little bit more relevant here. The damage boost on Helping Hand for something like Avalugg is crazy good. If I'm comboing it with Dugtrio as well, I got the Terra Flying, Helping Hand, Earthquakes. Jamie's team has the Oricorio, which is the only ground type immunity, and a couple resist with the 2 bug types, the 3 bug types there, and the Torterra. But if I get Dugtrio into a position where it can start freely firing off Earthquakes, I think it'll be really nice. So having that Terra Flying Helping Hand there is a nice combo there too. Down to Dugtrio. We are just the focus sash set this time. I know against Lou I had the choice band, which was really, really good. But this time I wanted to make sure Dugtrio stuck around a little bit more. The arena trap into Jamie's team is really, really good. Again, only Oricorio is immune via flying typing. Gengar is immune due to its ghost typing. But everything else just gets kind of locked on the field. And so if I can get Dugtrio into position where I get 1 or 2 turns to fire off attacks, I think that'll be really powerful. The choice band, I love that against Lou, but I think here the damage just from standard earthquakes will be enough for what I need Dugtrio to be doing. I did go for Terra Ground again. I don't think any kind of defensive Terra on Dugtrio is worth it because it just doesn't have defenses anyway, and no amount of Terastallizing can fix that, so may as well get some extra damage if I can. Earthquake, definitely like gonna be on a Dugtrio set here. I went with Sucker Punch to give me a way to, like, I wanted at least some priority against possible Quiver Dances getting out of control. So Sucker Punch here isn't the strongest, but if I'm able to like chip down Frostmoth or Oricorio enough, and I need to just like Sucker Punch them once to win the game, I thought that was a good inclusion here. Also gives me a way around, not around, but it can hit like Bullet Punch Metagross or like Aqua Jet Quaquaval or before they get to use their priority attacks. And then I really liked the idea of Memento here. Obviously, it doesn't work into the Clear Body Metagross, but with the Hydreigon set that I have, which you'll see in a moment, I figured Memento is a really, really strong combo. If I can Memento something like Arcanine or Goodra or even Rabombi with this Hydreigon, it gives me a lot more space to move with this Hydreigon, which I'll cover when we get to Hydreigon, but I thought Memento was a really cool tech here. Dugtrio is the fastest Pokemon other than Rabombi, so only Rabombi will be outspeeding it. Rabombi itself could be very useful. It could be a little bit annoying, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see Rabombi stay home. There's a lot of Pokemon on my team that threaten Rabombi, and also it's very susceptible to like defensive Terras. Anything like Fire or Steel, just Rabombi can't really touch it all, so I was kind of banking on Rabombi not banking on, but I was mostly game planning around no Rabombi, so this Dugtrio could kind of have its way with whatever's on the field. Arena Trap, of course, just for that trapping effect. Down to Avalugg. It's been the same Avalugg set basically the last few weeks, just because it is that good. I'm Terra Dark this time. I am not Terra Stellar. I wanted the Dark not only for the boosted damage to Crunch specifically for the Metagross if we did bring that on the field, but also very neutral into the rest of his team as well. But I thought this is a scenario where I actually wouldn't mind Avalugg changing its typing defensively into something like Crocodile, Torterra, Arcanine, Metagross, maybe a couple other things I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. It is much more useful to not have weaknesses to Rock or Steel or Water for Quaquaval. I guess close combat still hits you, but like it felt useful to be able to change my typing. And of course, Crunch I think is really solid here as well. It's again kind of a 100% accurate big damage move with the Terra Dark and the Strong Jaw. Can be really devastating. And Metagross is one of the main things that can take the stab combo from Avalugg, so if I had a shot to 1-hit KO it with the Avalugg, I would have been thrilled with that. I would be thrilled with that. I'm Clear Amulet again. There's the 2 Intimidate Pokemon on Jamie's team, and I just want to make sure that if I do get Trick Room up and I can start swinging with Avalugg, it will be hitting at its maximum potential there. Vivian. I did bring Vivian this time around. Mostly, not mostly, fully for support. This is a Terra Ground, Citrus Berry, Friend Guard set. I definitely wanted the Rage Powder support here. Maybe I should have put Hydreigon first. A lot of this team is kind of centered around the Hydreigon, but I promise you we'll get there. I wanted the Rage Powder support for the Hydreigon. Of course, Friend Guard is just very good. Another way to help any of my Pokemon set up, like the Hydreigon, wants a little bit of room to set up a little bit. Of course, Slowking, you want to be able to set up Trick Room. It's also another ground immune Pokemon for Dugtrio to Earthquake next to. So it felt kind of like a no-brainer here. Looking at Jamie's team, there's a lot of physical attackers, a few special attackers as well, but Arcanine, Metagross, Quaquaval, Crocodile, Torterra, those were all things that I wanted the Vivian to be able to sit on the field against, so I am max HP, max defense bold. I did go for Pollen Puff. Some decent damage, but also, more importantly, the healing options into my teammates. Rage Powder and Protect were givens. I did go for Terra Ground, Terra Blast, though. That's something I thought might be a cool tech. If I'm leaving Vivian on the field against Arcanine, against Metagross, defensively, Ground was pretty good, but I wanted to have a way to like make use of that if I didn't necessarily need to Rage Powder. And so Terra Ground, Terra Blast could come in really handy. Also gives me a really good option into the Raichu, which could be a little bit annoying. Raichu, in both its Alolan and Kanto forms, gets a pretty good number of support moves. And of course, the electric type attacks that might be thrown at something like Slowking or Talonflame. So if I am Terra Ground, it can redirect Thunderbolts or any kind of electric type attack. That could throw a wrench in Jamie's plans. And of course, it opens up more endgames where Vivian can try to close out, like a Terra Ground, Terra Blast into Arcanine or Raichu to win the game if I need to later on, certainly on the field here. So I liked the idea of going for this Terra Blast here. Finally, we see this Hydreigon I've been hinting at. I have Nasty Plot Hydreigon. This is something I've been like wanting to use this entire season, but didn't necessarily find the space for it. But I was talking to one of my friends about this match, and they suggested running Nasty Plot for this one. And I was looking at Jamie's team, and I was like, huh, yeah, that could actually work out really well here. We were talking about the attack options. At first, I was thinking, of course, it's Dark Pulse here. And then what's the other attack? Like Earth Power, Flamethrower, Dragon Move. We ultimately decided that Dragon Pulse Flamethrower is really strong. Dragon Pulse is really good into like everything that's not Ribombee and Metagross on Jamie's team. And what are those both weak to? Fire, Flamethrower, easy. The Frostmoth gets, with the Ice Scales, having something super effective into Frostmoth could be pretty nice too, just to give me a way to try to get past that boosted special defense. We are Protect Nasty Plot with those two attacks, of course. I believe I'm not maxing it. I'm outspeeding the Arcanine, which is the slowest thing. That is, it's like the fastest thing that's not faster than Hydreigon. Just making sure I'm faster than everything I can be. Max special attack. I think they put the rest in HP. For the Terra typing, it was kind of a no-brainer for Steel here. The things that threaten Hydreigon the most would be that Ribombee and Frostmoth, both of which just immediately crumble to any kind of Steel type unless they're running like a coverage Terra Blast or something. Steel's also very good into the Crocodile instead of, because I am, again, still immune to the ground typing. It also covers for like random like tech coverage moves into Hydreigon, specifically like random fairy moves. Like one thing I had in my head is like, this Gengar might have Dazzling Gleam, the Arcanine might have Play Rough. And so Steel covers for those very, very well. I went with Covert Cloak here as well. The main reasoning being something like Icy Wind Gengar or like Snarl Crocodile. Those can be things used to slow down Hydreigon pretty well. With the Covert Cloak, I won't be affected by them. Of course, really good into like Fake Out Raichu as well. So I thought Covert Cloak was just a nice way to kind of, it's a little bit more of a defensive option, but can allow me to be a little bit more aggressive around Fake Outs as well. So I thought that worked pretty well here. I looked into like Life Orb or some other attack boosting item, but I figured that with the Nasty Plot, I didn't necessarily need any more offense boost, and if I'm leaning into more of a Friend Guard Rage Powder kind of mode with this Hydreigon, I want a little bit more defense. So the Covert Cloak did that very, very well. Finally, we've got Talonflame. If I'm not going for the Trick Room mode, Talonflame plus Hydreigon plus Dugtrio is a really good offensive combo into Jamie's team. So I do have the Tailwind option. I'm Skyplate, mostly because I remember a long time ago Jamie telling a story where, I forget the Pokemon. Let's say it's Weavile. I truly don't remember the Pokemon, but the story he told was that he would always run Dreadplate instead of Black Glasses on a Pokemon that wanted like a Dark type attack boost. So if his opponent said, are you Black Glasses? You could be like, he could say no and not be lying about it or something, which is really funny. No, that's what it was. Razor Claw and Scope Lens. Scope Lens Kartana was a very popular set back in 2017-18. I think he would run Razor Claw instead. They have the same exact effect, but if he like got a crit and it was someone asked like, "Oh, is that scope lens?" and he'd be like, "No," and he wouldn't be wrong. So it's just funny. Skyplate and Sharpbeak are the exact same effect. They both boost flying type moves by 20%. So just like a fun homage to Jamie there. I use the Skyplate instead of the Sharpbeak. Of course, I'm Gale Wings. I got Brave Bird and Tailwind. Again, I like dual wing beat is always a consideration, especially into something like Rabombi that is very susceptible to be carrying a Focus Sash. But I figured the Skyplate Brave Bird was also a nice way to try and close out some, like try and win the game with priority later on if something like Frostmoth gets out of control. Even like Aqua Step, Quaquaval, I want to be able to hit for a lot of damage, and Brave Bird is much better at that. I did use Overheat instead of Flare Blitz, specifically just for Metagross. Metagross is very bulky on the defensive side, but slightly less for special defense, and having a way to hit it for a lot of damage felt pretty useful. And I am, again, the Terra Ground Terra Blast on this Talonflame. It's specifically to just have a way to hit the Arcanine, not even just hit the Arcanine, just have a way to be on the field against Arcanine and not be useless once Tailwind goes up. So if I do have the option, or if I am in a position where the Talonflame like isn't intimidated against Arcanine, I'm pretty sure Terra Ground Terra Blast will when I KO it. So that could be something to come in very useful. Of course, great against Raichu as well. If the Raichu is on the field against Talonflame, I can flip that from pretty hard loss into a pretty hard win with that Terra Ground. So that's the squad. Again, I'm 4-2 going into this match. If I win, I guarantee my spot in playoffs. If I lose, it probably will come down to tiebreakers and how a few other matches play out. So if I want my destiny in my own hands here, I got to win this match. So we're going to try to do our best. I'm really excited to see what Jamie brings to this match again. He's probably one of the most creative team builders in the history of Pokemon. So should be a really fun team. Should be a great match. Let's get started. All right. I'm scared. I truly, like, there's nothing on Jamie's team other than maybe Venonat where I'm like, oh yeah, that's easy. Like, everything he has, I think can be pretty threatening under the right circumstances, and I think that's the mark of a very good draft team. Just, like, in general, Jamie's a very good team builder and battler, so I'm really excited to see what he came up with here. Just because it could be a lot of different things, and all of them are equally terrifying. I mean, he's like won a regional with Cottony, like just to give you some perspective. Like, there's nothing he can't use and find some way to like make optimal. So this is okay, huh? I definitely was expecting like Metagross, Gengar, Arcanine. I feel like those are really good, and so now I'm a little bit like even more scared. Like, what am I missing here that he didn't show it off the bat? Still has the Crocodile, which is the Intimidate. What is Terra types? Frostmoth, Electric, Goodra, Electric, Oricorio, Electric, Torterra, Electric. So he was like, I am not losing a Golden Go. But 4 Terra Electrics into my Doug Trio I'm pretty happy with. Also very happy with the Wakanberry Slowking choice right now. Raichu is Stellar too, which is still kind of electric, and then Crocodile is Poison, so we'll see how this goes. This is actually, this is very good for Avalugg and Trick Room. Very, very, very good. Okay. That, I think, will be something I can definitely play towards. For now, I do think Hydreigon's still very good. I do like Hydreigon, Doug Trio, Slowking, Avalugg. Vivian into all these Pokemon doesn't strike me as super useful. Yeah, let's do that. Hydreigon, Doug Trio, Slowking, Avalugg. I guess maybe I could want Vivian just for the like Rage Powder Friend Guard support if I am going into the Hydreigon mode, but I think it might be fine. We'll see, we'll see. The Dancer mode is a little bit scary. I guess I didn't bring Tailwind to try and deal with that, but Raichu Goodra, totally fine with that, especially because now I just get to like, okay, no air balloons. Yeah, I just get to like protect, and protect. He probably has feint or something. I just walked into a feint play, but I think this is maybe the smarter thing to do right off the bat. I guess we'll find out. A little bit scared of what like a feint and attack into Dugtrio. That could be kind of bad. But I'm not gonna like give up a fake out just to learn that he has feint on the first turn of the game. If he shows that early on, then you got me, and we'll go from there. The arena trap is huge right here too, just knowing that he can't swap either of these Pokemon out. There's no air balloons, no Terra Ghosts. Okay, good. Good. Very fine with that. Ice Beam, yeah. Dugtrio. Okay. Now, do I go for like? Do I go for a Nasty Plot? I kind of want to, because I don't want to Terra. No, just click that. I could Terra actually, but I kind of want to potentially save that for Slowking if I need to get Trick Room up. I maybe just go for a Dragon Pulse into Gudra. Not get too fancy right off the bat. Definitely Earthquaking, that's not a question. I am Jolly Dugtrio, so I should be outspeeding this Raichu. And Levitate comes through. So if it's not Focus Sash, this is a great turn. It is, though. That makes sense. I don't... That's probably what I would have expected coming out from Raichu there. Nuzzle. Okay. Still faster, though. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's so good. Okay. So I guess there's still a chance he has feint or some kind of random priority here. But I also don't think I care. Do I care? I mean, maybe I care. Does Gudra get, like, Sucker Punch or something? I don't know. I am just going to go for Nasty Plot. I have no reason not to. And then I'll Earthquake. Because even if, let's say he has feint or some random priority here, maybe he knocks out Dugtrio and then like Gudra can KO Hydreigon, but then I bring in Slowking Avalugg, and then I Trick Room, and then I think I win. Yeah, Earthquake, double KO here is really nice. If I don't get fully paralyzed, I will get to Nasty Plot here, which would be fantastic. If I do get fully paralyzed, I think I'm still in a pretty fine spot, especially because now I can threaten Memento immediately, and then put one of his Pokemon at -2 for the rest of the game. But huge Nasty Plot here. Now I have this +2 Hydreigon. Oh no, it's not paralyzed. I'm Covert Cloak. Oh my god, I totally forgot. I'm not even paralyzed. Oh, this is so good. I didn't even like notice. It took me like seeing the lack of paralysis to like register that in my mind. Oh, okay. We're cooking. We're so cooking. Torterra Frostmoth. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to Dragon Pulse the Torterra, and I'm going to Memento the Frostmoth. I don't care about Torterra with Hydreigon. Actually, no, I'm fully going for Terra Steel. I'm 100% Terra Steel here. And then Dragon Pulse the Torterra. And then I'm just going to Memento. I don't even need Memento Frostmoth anymore, do I? Terra Steel eats this up. Maybe I do actually just go for Frostmoth. I have Avalugg, Slowking. No, I care more about Torterra, I think. I don't want to reveal Flamethrower. I don't think I need to. And I am just going to Earthquake. Just for damage. I don't really want to reveal Sucker Punch or Memento just yet. I don't think I need to for the rest of this match. The Terra Steel here will be very useful. Resist all 4 stab. Well, immune to Earthquake still because Levitate, but then resist Grass and Bug and Ice for the remainder of this game. Wide Guard, sure. I figured something on a team would have Wide Guard. I think Frostmoth learns it too, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, this Earthquake damage wasn't doing too much anyway, so I am okay with that Wide Guard going up. It definitely is Quiver Dance Frostmoth because you would run Quiver Dance with the Oricorio almost definitely. Yeah, Quiver Dance, that's fine. See, it might be nice to find out if Frostmoth is faster than Dugtrio at +1. I would guess yes, but I guess I'm not positive about that. I am going to Dragon Pulse Torterra again. And maybe I'll Sucker Punch the Frostmoth this time just to get some damage on it. The Ice Scales might be a little bit of an issue going forward. I guess if there's a way Jamie comes back here, it will be just by spamming the like special moves here with the resistance from the Ice Scale. Ice Scales like doubles your... You take half damage from special attacks or something, which is a really good ability. But now that this is gone, it is going to be just the Frostmoth versus the world here. Does have 2 Quiver Dances, which could get a little bit dicey, but I also am Psyshock on Slowking, which should help out. Because if I bring in Slowking and Avalugg, he kind of has to target the Avalugg, or risk just getting hit by a physical attack. And in that case... I'm going to Nesty Plot again, actually. And then maybe Protect this time, just to keep Dugtrio around. I'm trying to make sure I don't, like, troll myself out of a win here. Yeah, huge. That's why I wanted to Protect there, just to give myself as many turns as possible to try and start throwing attacks at this Frostmoth. I'm now at +4. Frostmoth has got 2 Quiver Dances, and so I should be able to muscle through it. I'm still not going to reveal Flamethrower unless I totally have to, just because I think it's smarter to kind of keep that close to my chest. Same thing with Memento. I could have probably revealed Memento earlier on, but I really didn't want to like give up the fact that I had it. I think I probably bring in Slowking here as well. Is that Citrus? Oh, Leftovers, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in Slowking and just go for Trick Room. Revealing the Leftovers there, decent chance he wants to Protect. So if he does Protect, I can just punish that by going for Trick Room here. I do kind of force him to reveal Bug Buzz if he has it as well. Going for the Terra Electric. This might actually be Terra Blast, and he will find the Wakan Berry, but so be it. Just to like guarantee a win here, I'm totally fine with that. So it's not Bug Buzz though, which I think is actually a lot better for me. Terra Blast for sure. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's really good for my chances because no Bug Buzz means that he has to go for the Terra Blast, which means he has to hit through my Wakan Berry and also has to have the Terra available to go for the like super effective damage there. So very, very okay with that. So I'm trying to decide what I want to reveal here. I think I'm going to go for Scald. Again, not so Psyshock, because Psyshock I think is a big deal here. It hits through the... Well, actually, I don't know if Psyshock bypasses the Ice Scales, like, damage reduction. It does hit Gudra harder, which I think is the more important thing, but yeah, there's nothing. That's funny. I will get the KO with Dragon Pulse here, though, so... That, I don't know if that game could have gone any better. The Nuzzle into the Hydreigon there, getting blocked by Covert Cloak. I did the Covert Cloak for, like, Snarl Crocodile or, like, Icy Wind Gengar, obviously to get around Fake Outs as well. But I didn't even consider, like, Nuzzle as a potential thing to be blocking there, so that was insanely good, especially with that Earthquake double KO into Nasty Plot turn. That felt very, very powerful. And not revealing Flamethrower or Psyshock there, I think is really nice for me. We saw Dragon Pulse almost KO the Torterra at +2, which means that Flamethrower certainly will. So I get to reveal that next game. He probably assumes I'm just Dark Pulse or something, which might come in handy later on. Not having to show that into Frostmoth as well was pretty nice. Let's see, he didn't bring Crocodile, so he didn't bring his Intimidate at all. Trying trying to think what my best options here are. I do still really like the Trick Room mode here. I think I could maybe just like start off with that if I really wanted to, but the Raichu there with Fake Out could make it a little bit annoying. Let's see. I'm just gonna go for this now. How do I like not get cheesed by the dancer mode? That's what I'm most concerned about here. I think I'm just gonna go straight for Trick Room here. I kind of force the issue right off the bat, and then if that causes him to like expend all of his resources, then so be it. I am gonna bring Vivian this time around, just for a little bit of extra help in the Trick Room mode. I think Avalugg and Hydreigon both really appreciate the friend guard here. Of course, the like Ball and Puff support if that comes into play, and then also the potential for like Rage Powders. I could see the Crocodile coming in right off the bat. I maybe just kind of played into that on accident, but we'll see. Yeah, I think that's fine. Fine-ish. Very tempted to just go straight for Terra Flying on Slowking, because that will make sure I'm not taking too much damage from Knockoff. He will kind of have to double into the Avalugg to knock it out, I think, on this turn, because Avalugg is just super bulky. Am I going for Terra Flying Trick Room here? I can just try and knock out this Crocodile with Ice Fang, get Trick Room up. It could be like Dragon Tail Goodra. I could definitely see that, in which case might not be like the best turn, but also I get Dragon Tailed into either Hydreigon or Vivian, which I think are both pretty fine here too, so see what happens. Slowking Terra's first, so Jamie did not Terra on this turn. Knockoff Ice Beam I don't think would KO Slowking, because Slowking is quite bulky. I know that I trained it to survive Knockoff. So yeah, I think I'm probably okay here. Gordo Conberry Ice Beam, let's see. Oh, that does KO. I wonder if that's like Specs or something? I don't know. I think this is okay though. I'm gonna get to knock out Crocodile. That's a big threat to the Avalugg Gon. I guess Ice Fang reveals that I'm Strong Jaw and not Sturdy, but I don't know if that's too big a deal. I'm gonna bring in the Vivian because I care a little bit more about supporting the Avalugg here instead of trying to set something else up. Torterra does come in. So I can't Rage Powder the Torterra. I care more about the Goodra here than Torterra, so I'm definitely going to Ice Beam the Goodra, or Ice Fang the Goodra, which is again Terra Electric. I'm just going to protect the Vivian, I think. I guess I kind of expected Slowking to get that Trick Room up, but there's just a good chance that Goodra has some kind of boosting item. Jamie's also going for the Terra here, I'm guessing on Goodra. Yeah, it's got the Terra Electric. Will be neutral into the Ice Fang going forward. This might be a little bit tough now. Okay, protects on Ice Beam, that's good. It's probably like Bullet Seed or something in Avalugg. Oh, Rock Slide, okay. That's fair. If I don't flinch here, I'm totally fine with this spot. Okay, that's very good. Ice Fang does a big chunk to Goodra. And so I'm definitely just going to go straight for another Ice Fang there. And then Maybe Pollen Puff myself if I get the chance. That actually feels like a nice thing to do here. The damage into Torterra doesn't really matter. I have... You know, actually, no, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Ice Fang Torterra. I care more about getting rid of the Wide Guard if the Frostmoth comes in. And I'm still just going to Pollen Puff myself here, just to try and keep Avalugg as healthy as possible. I am fast in everything. That's great. Pretty good to know. I'm like no investment on this Vivian speed-wise. Thunderbolt. So it's not Specs. It is just, I'm guessing, Assault Vest or something. Oh, that's not good. That's very not good. That's very bad. Yeah, that's quite bad, actually. Guess I could have Rage Powdered there, but I... Okay. That is unfortunate, but I wonder... I guess I don't know how much damage that would have done. Avalugg and Special Defense are not necessarily equivalent to one another. I think I have to just go for Dragon Pulse and a Gudra here and hope that somehow I get a crit of my own. And then whatever's in the back, Hydreigon can try and solo, but this one's looking a little bit dire. Trying to think, like Gudra... If I get Trick Room up, this game is much different, but of course the knockoff and Ice Beam is a really good play to prevent that. Just trying to think of my options here. Going into this next game. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't expect that to KO. I guess we'll see how much Ice Beam does here. Almost KOs, so good to know. Another Rock Slide. Rock Slide misses! Yay! That doesn't really matter here. I'll just knock out the Gudra for some points. It is Protect, so it's not even Assault Vest, actually. So Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, maybe a Dragon move. Not revealing that just yet. I forced him to reveal the Protect at least, so I'm happy with that. Wood Hammer, yeah, there's a Grass move, almost definitely. Oh, I forgot to change the scores. It is now 1-1. You all following at home knew that. So yeah, I think... If that doesn't critical hit, I'm trying to figure out if I survive that like Thunderbolt Rock Slide combo. I don't know. I don't want to put too much stock in Avalugg Special Defense because obviously it is not very good. I did put a lot of stock into Slowking surviving that first turn, and I think that was where part of the issue was. If I didn't kind of rely on the what am I saying? The survival on the like knockoff Ice Beam, which was a great play from Jamie, of course, to cover for that Terra. I maybe could have done something a little bit different there, but I do still think Trick Room going up is a very, very good place for me to be. I would love to be able to get it up. The question is, though, is that like worth it? Hydreigon is like the fastest thing other than the Raichu. So I also am very tempted to do something like this. With the Trick Room mode, I just start with the Vivian Hydreigon, try and take out as much as I can with those Pokemon, and then see where I go from there. I think this is maybe my best option here, because nothing really threatens Hydreigon here as a thing, especially with Terra Steel. I really love Terra Steel, like Nasty Plot Hydreigon right now. Especially if he doesn't bring the Raichu. I guess I didn't see his fourth Pokemon in that game, but if he didn't bring Raichu to that second game, Hydreigon kind of has free reign. This lead isn't great into the like Dancer core, which I guess I should be a little bit afraid of. But I'm not guessing anything. I'm hoping he doesn't just lead with that, because if he does, I might be in a little bit of a rough spot. But I guess we'll find out, huh? What would I like to see in the leads here? I don't even know. Crocodile Raichu. Okay, that's fine. Hydreigon Vivillon. Cool with that. I'm just gonna go for Nasty Plot right off the bat. If this Crocodile has like Superpower or Play Rough or something, then like fair play. Maybe that's not the right thing to do, actually. What's my best option here? He's shown Fake Out Nuzzle. I think I'm going to say he doesn't have Faint. I want to protect Hydreigon in case he goes for like Fake Out into Vivillon and then has like Play Rough or Superpower or something to hit the Hydreigon. I just want to see what this Crocodile wants to go for on this turn. Because I think that might be a bit of a determining factor in like how I approach this going forward here too. Raichu could also still have Encore, so we're a little bit worried about that. Alluring Voice though, okay. Made the right choice in protecting Rock Tomb. That's cool. So now, do I not just Nasty Plot and Terrasilize Vivillon and go for Rage Powder? Like, I feel like that's just my best option. Nasty Plot, Terra Ground, Rage Powder. I'm resisting the rock move. I'm immune to the electric move. Or do I just go for damage? I might want to break the Focus Sash here. I think I'm going to go for the Dragon Pulse and the Rage Powder with Terra Ground. Yeah. Mostly because I just don't want to get stuck having to like find a way to break that Focus Sash with an attack later on. And the Terra Ground here is really good. It gives me the Terra Blast option. I'm resisting attacks from both of these Pokemon. And I think more importantly, it just keeps Vivillon around a little bit longer. Thunderbolt, yeah, that's really good. Especially if the Rock Tomb comes through from the Hydreigon or the Crocodile as well. I will feel very good about this position. Knock off, that's fine. Does a good amount of damage. But we now see that Raichu doesn't have the Encore. So I'm pretty good to just start going for attacks here. He kind of has to Alluring Voice now, so I think I do need to Rage Powder again. No, I'm going to just KO Raichu. What am I thinking? Yeah, I'm just going to protect KO Raichu here. I don't think Alluring Voice KOs at all. Or Alluring Voice shouldn't KO the Vivillon. He does withdraw it. Makes sense. So I guess I get some chip damage on whatever comes in here. It is going to be Frostmoth. I guess I did give up my Terra here. So this... Quiver Dance is a little bit of a threat. High Horsepower doesn't KO Vivillon, thankfully, but Pollen Puff will be a little bit scary. I'm still fine if I get Trick Room up. I'm going to swap to Slowking and protect the Vivillon. I think what he's probably going to do here is Quiver Dance with the Frostmoth and then go for an attack into Vivillon. And by switching to Slowking here, it gives me the best chance of getting Trick Room up. Which I will need to close out this game, I'm pretty sure. This is tough though, like... I should have played more aggressively on that turn Raichu swapped out. I needed to get a Nasty Plot or at least some damage out. The Rage Powder Nasty Plot probably was the best option there, but we'll see. Knock off into the Protect here, that's fine. And Quiver Dance. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to get Trick Room up, which is great. The Frostmoth is still going to be an issue, quite frankly. I'm going to have to find a way to get around that, but we shall see. Definitely Trick Rooming, and I think I should Rage Powder. just to redirect something from the Frostmoth. Hopefully it's not like Struggle Bug or something. That'd be kind of bad. Rage Powder comes through. See what Frostmoth does. Ice Beam, yeah. So I am trying to survive a knockoff here from the Crocodile. Slowking will be pretty low, but I think that's a fair price to pay for getting Trick Room up here, then being able to send in the Avalugg and threaten a bunch of damage. I just kind of have to be okay with that. Trick Room will go up. I think I just like Scald Rock Slide into Crocodile here. I kind of have to. Rock Slide forces the Terra from Frostmoth. And like... this is tough. This is really tough. But I think this is what I have to do. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what he can do to like cover for these options here. He does have the Fake Out and the Wide Guard if the Torterra is his last Pokemon again. So this is certainly far from just one, but I'll need to find maybe a clever way to try and dodge the Wide Guards at all if I can. He's almost certainly either protecting or terrestrializing the Frostmoth here. In either way, I think Rock Slide's my best option. Yeah, totally makes sense. Do get the Scald off here. Rock Slide's definitely not going to KO, but I think I had to go for it anyway. Yeah, if this flinches, we're in a great spot. Yeah, high horsepower. That's fine. I'm definitely going for Psyshock into Frostmoth here, and then I feel like I have to Rock Slide again. There's just like no other option here for me, though. Not KOing Crocodile is huge. That is really, really important because I needed... If I did KO Crocodile, then either the Raichu or Torterra could have come in, and that would have been much harder to deal with other than this Crocodile, which now is still stuck and just kind of waiting to get knocked out by Rock Slide. So that was kind of a perfect turn. The only way that could have gone better is if the Rock Slide flinched, but of course I'm not going to like center a game plan around that. Crocodile does swap out, so we're probably going to see Torterra. No, Goodra. Okay, no Wide Guard. Okay, this is looking a little bit better. Oh, he didn't Terrestrialize. Oh, please connect Rock Slide. Okay, we got a shot. We got a shot. We're in this. Can he beat Hydreigon now? If he brings in Raichu here, he has to let me either attack with Slowking or Avalugg. Oh, this is looking very winnable now. Huh. If he brings in Raichu, I just Rock Slide and Scald the Raichu. And then Hydreigon kind of just wins. So you just kind of have to fake out the Avalugg, right? 2 turns of Trick Room, yeah. Definitely Scalding here and going for... I think I Ice Fang the Goodra, actually. Just to minimize the chances of... missing. Scald here should KO Raichu, yeah. Ooh, I feel pretty good about this now. Thunderbolt, yeah. That's fine. Now what happens here? The Crocodile having Rock Tomb makes it a little bit more scary. Oh no, it doesn't, because I'm Covert Cloak. Okay, okay. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What's my best play here? This is the last turn to Trick Room. Decent chance he double protects. We saw the Goodra go for Ice Beam into Hydreigon, which means it likely doesn't have a dragon move. Do I go for the Nasty Plot? I think I do. To cover for the protects. Something's going to try Slice here. Probably the Goodra. Yeah. This makes sense. If Goodra's got a dragon move, I totally just threw this, but I think because he went for Ice Beam, that maybe gives away that he doesn't. Scald KOs Crocodile. Great. What does Goodra do here? Come on. No dragon move. All right. Survive. No freeze. Oh, I'm Covert Cloak. I can't freeze. We got this. Helping Hand Dragon Pulse should close it out. Oh, this is great. Nasty Plot. I think that was the right call there. Because he didn't show the dragon move earlier on, it was safer to assume he didn't have a dragon move. And I saw myself survive the Ice Beam. I'm Covert Cloak, so I can't freeze. Scald there covers Hydreigon, going for a double. And with the Nasty Plot, this Helping Hand Dragon Pulse should be able to clear up the game. So I believe I just secured my spot in playoffs, but let's make sure this this Dragon Pulse KOs first before we do any celebrating. Woo! Okay. That felt great. That was a really good match. Very happy to have 1-2 to 5-2 is a really nice swing there. Very happy with the ending of this season. And with that, I believe I've guaranteed my spot in playoffs. I don't believe. I know I've guaranteed my spot in playoffs. If I lost this match, it would have been kind of up to tiebreakers, I think, or depended on some of the other matches that were happening. But that feels really good. Jamie is a fantastic player, especially someone who uses teams as unique as Jamie. Like, this is a format in which he thrives. And so to beat him in a format like this feels really great. Great games, Jamie. Really cool team. And I think Jamie's also fine in play. I think he will also be in playoffs. So I might get to rematch him later on, so that'll be fun. But thanks for watching, y'all. We're 5-2 at the end of regular season, so we will be making the playoffs. I think may have a week off, not sure, but in the next week or two, we'll get our quarterfinals match for playoffs going. So can't wait to see how that shakes out. Thanks for watching.